What's up guys, this is Coach Donny with ElevateYourself.org. In this video we'll talk about how to address shoulder pain, which can be caused by spiking in volleyball or any other type of overhead movement in sports, or even from your everyday posture from working, driving, and walking around. This video was suggested by Bonnie my lady, so thank you so much for this video suggestion. I'll be addressing 3 ways you can reduce shoulder pain. The first way is having proper biomechanics. The second way is improving the mobility of your shoulder. The third way is strengthening the shoulder region. The most important aspect of reducing your shoulder pain is improving your biomechanics in whatever sport you play. I can ice my shoulder every day, strengthen all the muscles, and go through surgery, but if I'm still performing the same poor biomechanics that are causing the pain, then I'm going to constantly re-injure it no matter how healthy I get my shoulder to be again. If you want to watch an in-depth video about how to spike a volleyball with proper arm swing mechanics, make sure that you click on the video link up here. The most common mistake that people make when they're spiking that causes shoulder pain is they try to generate power with their lower back and their shoulder only. That example of poor spiking mechanics looks like this, where I'm reaching back with my lower back and my shoulders and then generating power by leaning forward, or I'm swinging my arm in a circular motion and using only shoulder rotation. The most effective and healthiest way to spike a volleyball is to generate power by rotating your hips and the chest region when you're spiking. This allows the head of the humerus bone, which is the bone in your upper arm, to be centered in the glenohumeroid joint, which is your shoulder socket. Here is your shoulder joint and here is the head of the humerus. It's very important for your shoulder to move where the head of the humerus is centered in the glenohumeroid joint. Anytime the head of the humerus rotates out of the shoulder socket, that's where impingements and pain happens. If you want to learn more about this spiking technique that will help you spike with more power for a longer period of time throughout your volleyball career, make sure that you watch my arm swing mechanics videos. Make sure that you're conscious of your posture when you're walking, working, and driving. Our lifestyles often evolve around our shoulders being internally rotated, and when your shoulders are internally rotated, which means shrugged forward, then it brings your scapula forward and it restricts your shoulder movement. You can do a short test for yourself. If you keep your shoulders back, you'll see that you have a greater range of motion than if I shrug my shoulders forward and I lock it in place. When you're working on the computer or driving, it's easy to be hunched over, and as you can see, this will cause a shortening of my chest muscles. Make sure that when I'm working, driving, or walking, that I rotate my shoulders back and I tuck my chin in so my head is centered on my body. You might feel tired when practicing proper posture, but once those muscles are strengthened, it will feel normal and will make a big impact in your shoulder mobility. The next area we'll talk about is improving the mobility of your shoulder. The first way to improve your mobility is through massage. And you can take a lacrosse ball, which only costs a few dollars, which is much cheaper than a massage ball, and you're going to roll it along your upper back. Make sure that you target the trapezius, rhomboid, and latissimus dorsi muscles. As you're rolling the ball along the upper and mid back, your goal is to find a very tight or tender area and place your entire body weight on it for at least 1 minute. Then do the same thing for all the other areas of your upper and mid back. I really try to focus in on those muscle knots and sore spots. The next way to improve your mobility is to stretch your chest muscles. Tight chest muscles will also contribute to internally rotating your shoulders. Here are a few chest stretches that will help target the pectoralis major and minor muscles to lengthen your chest muscles and rotate your shoulder back in place. Start the stretch by forming a 90-degree angle with your arm. Then place your arm against the pole and rotate away from the pole with your torso. Try to consciously stretch your chest muscle by externally rotating your shoulder. Hold each stretch for 30 to 45 seconds. The second stretch is for the pec minor. Elevate your elbow above your shoulders and rotate away from the pole in the same manner as the first stretch for the pec major. You can also try straight arm variations of these stretches. You will perform the same stretching motion at the same angle as the previous ones I just talked about, except with a straight arm. Remember that the purpose of performing these stretches is to improve your shoulder mobility. So make sure that you consciously retract your scapula to improve your shoulder mobility and get a better quality stretch in your chest muscle. The last area we'll talk about is strengthening your rotator cuff, which are the muscles responsible for holding your shoulder in place and allowing it to rotate. The four muscles of the rotator cuff are the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis. The function of the supraspinatus is to abduct the shoulder. The function of the infraspinatus and the teres minor is to externally rotate the shoulder. The function of the subscapularis is to internally rotate the shoulder. Oftentimes, our internal rotation becomes overdeveloped from our daily posture. Also, when I'm spiking, I'm focused on spiking forward and bringing my shoulder in front more than bringing it back. And when I'm at the gym, what do most people do? They like to work out their chest more than their back. So all these repetitive movements contribute to internally rotated shoulders. I'll be going over a series of rotator cuff exercises called YTWL, which will help strengthen your external rotation. The YTWL exercises help improve scapular mobility and stability by strengthening the muscles around the scapula. Perform every exercise with 2 to 5 pound weights in each hand. The first exercise is called the Y of the YTWL series because you form a Y with your arms. Start by leaning forward so your torso forms a 45-degree angle with the floor. Then point your thumbs upward so your palms are facing each other and lift the weight as high as possible over your head. Make sure you do not shrug your shoulders during the movement and focus on upward rotation of the scapula. Start the T exercise in the same 45-degree posture. Point your thumbs away from each other so that your palms are facing forward. Then make a T shape with your arms by flexing the weight behind you. Focus on retracting the lower portion of your scapula together. Start the W exercise in the same 45-degree posture. Then form a W shape with your arms by keeping your elbows bent and at your side. Make sure that you do not shrug your shoulders to lift the weights. Focus on retracting the middle of your scapula together. Start the L exercise in the same 45-degree neutral posture. Make an L shape with your arms by forming two 90-degree angles and placing your elbows at the same height as your shoulders. Your upper arm should act like an axle for your forearms to rotate upward and downward. Try to rotate as far down and as far up as possible without moving your elbow position. In summary, there are 3 areas you need to address to improve your shoulder pain. The first area is improving your biomechanics by practicing proper spiking technique. The second area is improving your mobility by massaging your upper and mid back and stretching your chest muscles. The third area is strengthening the shoulder region by performing rotator cuff exercises. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and share it with everybody you know who has shoulder pain. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel where I'll be releasing weekly videos just like this one. If you have any other suggestions regarding athletic training, volleyball, or fitness, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.